Yep. And I never had sinus infections until I moved out here. And then we live on the beach, but so we get the wind that comes off of the water brings a super fine sandy dust.
Mm-hmm.
If the wind's going the other way, like the Santa Anas, or any time the wind blows from the east to the west, which is weird, but it's not all that uncommon. We get the dust off the fields where they're plowing because we're right downtown Strawberryville, and then if just a little bit east of the strawberries, you get into the orchards, which again, the wind coming through the orchards, they keep them like they kill all the plants, which is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
There's it's dusty. So, like, if you don't dust your house, you get this crust after hardly any time at all. So that's all the more reason why I should be taking this like pretty much every day, is to hold
The
those.
sinus health alone, absolutely.
Yeah, and
And,
you know what? I'm noticing my nose isn't running as much either. Is that something else people have like? Damn.
yeah, it's like a natural antihistamine, it really is. Um, that is pretty crazy for you to realize the sinus health impact as well, because of course we went from the immune support, the energy, the joint mobility, but yes, sinus
So
health. In fact, while you were talking, it made me think living here in South Carolina. What's that?
you broke up a little bit. Can you say that you were starting to say something and then we lost you?
Yeah, I was just going to say, living here in South Carolina, a lot of people move from the north to our area. And that's the first thing that they notice is their allergies and sinuses are all out of whack. And of course, we're close to the beach as well, right? So it absolutely has helped people with, helping with sinus health and allergy type symptoms, to where here's the key is when you take it for sinus health and allergies, you want to take it every few hours as needed. If you come into the product with sinuses just being all over the place and not feeling well, once your body gets acclimated to it and you start feeling better and you get it all out, you can then go down to that once or twice daily. And what's so cool is if it's in your head, you'll just start blowing it out. If it's in your chest, you'll start coughing it up. It's like your body responds based on where all the mucus is. So it's very fascinating. I actually met a customer years ago. She's a longtime believer of our product. I met her probably 5 years ago at a ladies' night event that we were at where I had a table set up. And she was constantly suffering with sinus infections, but it got even worse for her because it would go from a sinus infection to an ear infection, and then she would get pneumonia as well. It was like a triad. She said she'd get a sinus infection, ear infection, and pneumonia, constantly in the hospital, always on antibiotics, constantly sick. She couldn't catch a break. And what the crazy thing is she had 3 sinus surgeries in hopes to like help herself even get better. So here she had 3 sinus surgeries and she was still sick all the time. So here we met and I said, Connie, take this product every 3 hours as needed, up to 5 times a day until your symptoms completely clear. And then once they do clear, just go down to once a day. So she actually took it every few hours for weeks at that point because she was like blowing green. She had ooze coming out of her ears. She was in the hospital. Like she just was not doing well at all. So she took it every few hours. And then now she only takes it once a day. And she has yet in 5 years to have a repeat sinus infection like she had been.
Damn. And you know what? When you started talking about lungs, I'm not coughing as much as I used to. Because that's another thing, that breathing all that dust in, it gets built up in your lungs and you end up coughing up stuff. Well, it's just interestingly enough, like I both had like a dry hack, but I also was hawking stuff up, and I'm not hawking a lot of stuff up anymore. Wow,
Yeah.
The more I get to talk to you, the more I'm realizing that there are other things that I hadn't quite noticed yet about the effects.
That's so cool. One, that you're noticing that, but also like if someone does have a cough, they can take our product every few hours to help combat it in a more holistic and natural way. And that raw honey is also a great cough suppressant that goes into our product. But it's also those antiviral properties, antibacterial, antimicrobial, antifungal, rich in antioxidants. I mean, you're getting so much in such a powerful supplement with our product. But you're not the only one to say with the respiratory. So that's great that it's helping with your cough. But we've also had people with respiratory health issues, whether it be asthma or different things, that have also seen improvement in their respiratory health as well.
Interesting. Yeah, this is beyond. I mean, when I grew up as a kid, whenever we got a cough, the first thing we did was before they had the
Raw honey,
raw honey. Before they got us that, what was that, cough syrup with codeine. Boy, that stuff was awesome. but again, that was the codeine was to knock the kid out, so he didn't hack as much, and it wasn't cough syrup wasn't doing jack. It wasn't doing that.
You're bringing back memories of my childhood. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I told you. I said the first time I was with you, I was sick a lot, and I remember not only the cough syrups and all the different things, but the antibiotics and the different things I was on as a kid. And I tell my own three all the time, you guys don't know how lucky you are to have never tasted cough syrup in your life. Like, that's unbelievable, right? Like, to know that how delicious, as you know, our product is, and for them to be able to turn to something like this, rather than, yes, the cough syrup. I remember it vividly.
Oh my God. And then the worst thing was when they made it taste good, then you wanted to drink more of it.